Good
Welcome to
afternoon,
the
and
practice.
welcome to the Practical
Ah,
Prayer Podcast pre-show. You,
yeah,
you
yeah.
trying to catch
I
up
didn't.
from last week?
Yeah, that's it. I didn't see my cue. Right, my cue of the numbers
Yep.
when
Yeah,
the
that's,
count the
that's
numbers count down.
see, 2 weeks off and you forget everything. You go completely
Was I
rusty.
off 2 weeks? Was I
No,
off
the
two
last
weeks?
time we were here was 2 weeks ago.
Oh, okay, okay. I
No,
was
you
gonna
didn't miss.
say I don't. Yeah.
No, you
All
just
right.
missed a week.
Good.
That's okay.
Okay.
And I got to bloviate on my own last week, which was wonderful, great fun. But welcome back, and welcome to everybody who is joining us on the live stream on New Thought Media Network. I'm Bill, that's Carol, and in a few minutes we're going to start recording the Practical Prayer Podcast, episode number 226. Look who's still talking. And we have the opportunity before and after the recording that we do to interact. So if you are watching live, you can put a comment into social media, and we can respond to it in real time. Or if you want, you can go to the website, which is bethelight.com. Comes along looking like b-the-light.com, as you're seeing below the lovely Carol. There's a section on the Practical Prayer Podcast there, and you can you can click the converse button, and the same sort of thing will happen. Just what's the opposite of real time? Is it fake time?
I don't. I don't know. Real time. Yeah, fake time.
Yeah,
That sounds good.
whatever. So yeah, we'll interact with you in fake time. So it's been a whirlwind for me. It's snow cancellation yesterday. So
Yeah.
our group was supposed to get together in person, and then the weather looked like it was going to be bad, and then it looked like it wasn't going to be bad, so we didn't cancel, and then it was as bad as originally expected, so he has to cancel at the last minute. So there's Bill making lots and lots of plans over and over again.
Mm, mm. Yeah.
Happens.
The what? Yeah, it does. But you're good at it.
Making plans? Oh yeah,
You're good
making
at
plans.
recovery. Yeah, we all,
That's my thing.
I mean, yeah, but you recover quickly because you have tools,
That's true.
you know.
I
Yeah.
am I am adept. Agile, I think, is the term.
You know what I use a lot? Resourceful. Yeah.
Resourceful?
Yeah, resourceful. I tell people you're resourceful, you'll figure it out in like a hot minute if you try.
Mm-hmm. Yep, especially if all you got is a hot minute.
And listen, it's all inside, right?
Yep.
All right.
So we're
I
coming up on New
believe.
Year's, which is what has your attention.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of weeks
Mm-hmm.
left of the year. You're starting to get into your 2026 head. So this will be, actually, this episode's going to air, yeah, like on Christmas Eve.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. So the timing would be perfect. This is the gift that people who listen to the podcast on their podcast streamer. This is their Christmas present. For y'all who's watching now live, this is your Hanukkah present.
Mm. See, you got it all covered.
Resourceful. That's me.
That's right.
So, do we need to say anything else, or are we ready to start the episode and then dive in?
No, just think about new.
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 Okay. New thought, new year, new. We'll see. All right.
Okay.
Well, let's do a podcast.
A practical prayer is a prayer that works.
These discussions between Reverend Bill Marchiony and Carol Lawrence dive into the details of how it works and how to work it.
Reverend Bill is a New Thought minister and the author of Practical Prayer for Real Results.
Your new life begins with a new thought.
Carol Lawrence is on a spiritual quest, finding the New Thought teaching after decades on the pulpit in 3 different traditional denominations.
I've got some questions.
Together, they're exploring the philosophy and activities that come together from many of the world's religions to create the practical spirituality that is New Thought.
Welcome to the Practical Prayer Podcast. I'm Carol here with Reverend Dr. Bill Marchiony. I got it right this time.
You got it. You
I
got it.
was like, yeah.
And welcome back. You were missed last week. So
It's nice to be missed.
I flew solo. Yeah, made me appreciate the fact of the last minute scrambling to think of what my topic was going to be. It's like, oh, Carol takes care of that.
It's hard to believe you scrambled, but you say so.
Well, not for very long,
Yeah, I didn't think so.
because last week the episode was about page 52 of the Science of Mind textbook, which is
Your
the most
favorite
convoluted thing in the world. Yeah. We're not going to go over that though, because you got your own thing as we prepare for another new year.
Yeah, I love Ernest Holmes, and any opportunity I get to, chat with him or about him. But I'm all hung up in the new right now, the new year and what's happening.
Okay.
I'm a sort of one track, where that goes, because every year I think about planning for the next year, and everything kind of goes around that. And actually, my year goes quite smoothly when I do that, probably because I'm just used to doing it. There's tweaks here and there, but it just gives me a focus, a grounding place. And what I'm thinking about is new, like what is going to be new next year, and what do we want to see as new. And the phrase that comes to mind is that you hear so many people say, well, I want to let go of the things that no longer serve me. And I think that's a wonderful phrase. It's a bold phrase, but in order to do that, I think you have to do it smart. Now that's just me, peeling back the layer of the onion and being totally boring about it. But it's like, what did it serve you? How did it serve you in the first place? What relief did it bring? What peace did it bring? What comfort did it bring? What made you think you needed this that you were going to let go of? Because I think you need to identify that so that you don't pick it back up again. And, that kind of happens a lot. It's like that resolution, New Year's resolution, that it's only good for the first couple of weeks. And then you go back, and I'm not trivializing it. That commitment to let go of the things that no longer serve you. But I really am real clear that I think you need to be sure so that you don't repeat.
Right.
And, and things sneak back up on us. Life is like that. So the next thing you know, you've got that thing bothering you again, or holding you back, or, whispering that you're not worthy, or you can't do it, or you're a jerk. Remember the last time you tried it? All of that kind of stuff. You got to really get rid of the cause so that you can go forward.
Yep. And to quote you, that's a lot. Because we're talking about the pivot. We're talking about surrender. We're talking about awareness. And the first thing I want to check in on is some people, and it sounds like you're one of them, cycle their time starting the 1st of January, and you plot yourself along a calendar line. I usually find myself thinking of the cycle as starting in the fall. So more like a school calendar. And so you're a calendar person?
I go by quarters. That's
Okay.
my corporate brain working, so in September, I'm already thinking about the first quarter of next year. So I don't know, I guess that answers your question.
Yeah, but you're always
Yeah.
planning what's coming next, and just one of them happens to be the first of the year. Okay. But that's the time when a lot of other people are thinking about it. And I hear you. I belong to a gym, and I'm there 3-4 times a week. And I have noticed over the years that starting right after New Year's, it gets very busy at the gym. And then by conversation I was having with the person who works the desk at the gym, because I said Valentine's Day, and he said Super Bowl Sunday. They're about the same time. By the time 6 weeks have gone by, everybody's pretty much, back to normal.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing that's going to the gym is their annual or their monthly fee.
Yeah. Which, by the way, is one of the things that I use to help me with my quarterly, planning. Like now I'm just looking at everything that is. I'm looking at all of my subscriptions, and everything is dear because when I get a subscription, I just know I'm going to use this, blah, blah, blah. Well, did I really? And the magic in that is that you can always get it back. It's not like anybody's ever going to turn your money down.
Right.
But, it helps with decision making, which really helps with being in alignment with your desired and your, desired reality and all of those fancy terms that we use. It really has to do with planning and really evaluating where you are and what either no longer serves you or what hurts you. You can look
Right.
at it either way.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are sometimes ways that we are that we've been inadvertently holding ourselves down or back or harming ourselves without knowing it. So awareness is key when it comes to that, and also awareness of the things that are serving us that we take for granted, we're not paying any attention to. So there's some things that are wonderful that if we bring some gratitude to them is going to be really helpful. The joke is, oh, I don't need this safety pin from the hand grenade. Never used this before. Well, leave it there.
But you know what? And you're exactly where I am. It's looking at your life. I have this thing about saying, take care of your life. That means look at each piece of it. I have a habit of looking at my bank accounts every single morning. Not that I have all that much money, but 3 times this year, I was victim of fraud. And because I was on top of it, I could, immediately, and the banks were really good about it because I'm careful where I put the money and what kind of account that I put it in. And they do it. So I think our lives are worth at least that much concern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's important to go beyond the superficial appearance of what's going on in our lives and understand what's going on under the hood. So yeah, I do this thing all the time. Why? And you're gonna change your behaviors for the first of the year. It's my New Year's resolution. This year I'm going to fill in the blank. Well, okay, why don't you start it right now?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
If you know that's going to be good for you in a few weeks, go.
Exactly. I went to the doctor, and I'll share this because it's just like a health thing. Anybody can, use this information. But I'm absolutely opposed to taking medicine prescriptions willy nilly just because you said I need it. I just am not going to do that, and I'm going to research it. So they told me that, they did the blood thing. And of course, I read all of that before I got there. And they said, okay, so your cholesterol is in the safe zone or whatever they call it.
Yeah, normal range.
You're in a normal range, edging toward, maybe we need to think about whatever. And like, okay, fine. And I said, well, it's whatever. So I said, okay. She said, well, I'm going to give you this prescription. And I said, no, you're not. I mean, you can give it to me, but I'm not going to fill the prescription. You could be, so if I'm in the safe zone, and the first thing I asked, what are the side effects? What are the problems?
Right.
Well, it could do your liver and blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking, okay, right now I'm okay. But I take this medication so I stay okay, but it damages something else. So I'm thinking, what? No, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, sometimes you want to ask, are you listening to yourself? Are you hearing
Yeah.
what you're saying there?
But that's part of looking at your life and taking care of your life. And it happens, you know, in serious matters and some that are not so serious. And so I just asked a simple question. She said there's three things. You're African American and you're something else, she said. And oh, wait, like African American, you could stand to lose weight and something else, diet or whatever. And I said, okay, well, fine. I've been African American. That's not likely to change. I can, and the weight thing, I can do that. I got a good enough reason now to pay attention to it. And the diet. So she said, well, you don't. I'm vegetarian, but I do eat fish. She said, do you eat shellfish? Yes. That's a problem. Well, then I don't eat it anymore. So why am I going to take medicine? The only thing I got to do is continue being African American, make sure. I mean, that's a given. I've never tried to be anything else, so that's cool. Okay, so I need to exercise some better eating habits and don't eat shrimp anymore. Big deal. So my liver's
Right.
not in any danger by. So it's not all. You said earlier that it's a lot. It is a lot, but when you think about it, come on, let's just take a bite at a time. Just
I get it. A bite at a time. Yeah.
yeah.
But not fish. But not shrimp.
Not shrimp, not shellfish. Okay. You know what? Interesting too. I'll tell you real quick. I was talking to Michael, that's my baby son, and he
Mhm.
said, "Well, Mom, you never ate shrimp anyway. Like you ate it once a year." And I thought, "Oh, you're right. So it's no big deal. It's no big deal." You know, and everything isn't that simple, but I think when you overcomplicate it and say, "Well, what can I do on my own? What do I not need to take some?" And medication is important, and it is helpful, but like not freestyling it, yeah, because it causes other stuff. So it's
Yeah.
taking care of your life.
It's good to be intentional and know what the pills are doing for you and what they might be putting in jeopardy, and take the steps. And yeah,
Hmm.
there's a gauntlet to thread there. Same thing with the eating. That's so much of the New Year's resolution. I'm going to stop eating this. I'm going to stop drinking that. I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to get a workout. 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 times a week. Well, okay. Here's something better. What are you going to eat instead? What are you going to drink instead?
Exactly.
When you go to get some exercise, are you going to be having any fun? Because if you're having fun, then you probably keep going. And if you're not having
Mhm.
fun, it doesn't matter how good it is for you, you're probably going to stop.
Exactly.
And that's
So
that's not a spiritual lesson. That's an observation of people and knowing that the gym is going to empty out by Valentine's Day or the Super Bowl.
it, it's it's doing it's kindly. It's taking care of yourself, being kind to yourself, and saying, "Well, what's good for me? What's going to work for me?" I mean, we have cable TV, and there's like two cable channels that I watch. One is a given because I'm an Amazon kid, so I get Prime and whatever. And I had some other channels, and I thought, wait a minute, what I'm trying to do is do thus and so. I'm not looking at these channels.
Hmm.
They no longer serve me.
Right.
What's going to happen? Am I going to feel bad if I don't? What? You're not going to feel bad. Just give them up, free your pocket for a little bit. If it's nothing more than you can buy sushi if you want without,
And
but
as
do
you mentioned
something for
before,
you.
if it turns out you want to get it back, they'll still take your money.
In a
You
minute.
can you can reactivate.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So, uh, yeah, so that's my thing for, looking ahead is taking care of your life. What do you want that's new? Make sure that you give yourself every opportunity for the new thing to come in.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I think one of the things is, and I hear you say it a lot, is what's going to make you happy.
Hmm.
And people are determined that happiness is bad. If it makes you feel good, it must not be. It must
Happiness
not
is
be the
bad.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
it
a
might. It
there's
must
an
not be a.
there's an
Am I
internet
right though?
meme. Yeah,
Yeah, well, no,
Yeah.
happiness for me, I think it's good, because it's enough out here not to make you unhappy. So I don't need to do that to myself.
I was talking about going to the gym, and uniformly, the person at the desk doing the check-in will say, after I scan my little card, "Enjoy your workout." And I'm thinking, the word work shouldn't be in here. I mean, I understand why I'm here. It's for the exercise, and that's the term. But calling it work makes it seem like work. And there should be some effort involved in it, but maybe we need a better term for the fun that we're going to have when we're taking care of our physical bodies.
I think it's what you say to yourself. What do I really want?
Hmm.
Now, of course, I love all the ascended masters, love them dearly, but Neville really is, he's very sizzly. And he
He's your
says,
guy.
on certain things, he's got his good points. But he talks about, what do you want? Seeing what you want. That's what makes you happy. That, to me, that's like a reset. And it's a lot. It's not that easy, but it's at least saying to yourself, I matter enough to think about what makes me happy. And then it's not so much work involved.
Hmm.
It's, this is what I need to do to get to my happy place. And maybe, it's no
Yeah,
magic words, but we try, right?
yeah. There's climbing a mountain. There's a bunch of effort that's involved, and then there's the glorious view and the success when we get to the peak,
Hmm.
and probably a glorious view on the way up. It's still work, and it's even more work, and sometimes getting back down.
Hmm.
And if we think about the effort that we're putting in rather than the joy and the success and the satisfaction that we're getting from it, then we lose our balance. Our balance
Hmm.
shifts. Why am I doing
Yeah.
this? What is it that I want? Not just to do, but what do I, as you're saying, how do I want to feel? Once I have made
Exactly.
this change in my life, how do I want to feel? And then the introspection can get into, do I need to do these things in order to feel that way? Because maybe we can just cut to the chase and get the feeling. And in some
Yeah.
cases,
Yeah.
yeah, like we don't have to wait. You don't have to join a gym based on the New Year's schedule. If there's something that has seemed interesting, like ballroom dancing or yoga or Tai Chi, then just try it. Do it. You
Sure.
know?
Sure. It's about choice, and you kind of make yourself be the important person for for good reasons, not that I'm being egotistic or selfish or whatever, but you're here to live. You need to give yourself a little bit of joy, a pat on the back every now and then, just because you're here. You made it since yesterday. You
Yep.
still got the same problems that you had yesterday, but you made it. And that's big because a lot of people choose not to make it, but you
Yeah.
did it.
Yep.
So, what makes you feel happy? You know,
I
and
agree.
it's not that much.
Maybe it's huge, but it's certainly within possibility. Let's take a break and continue this conversation.
Learn to put practical prayer to work in your life. The steps are simple to learn and let you begin to get real results to create the life of your dreams immediately. Reverend Bill Marchiony's widely acclaimed book, Practical Prayer for Real Results, gives you a clear summary of the New Thought principles behind practical prayer and the series of easy-to-understand steps found in the most effective prayers from religions and spiritual practices all over the world and throughout history. Practical prayer is not a replacement for your religion or practice. It's a technique to make the work you do in consciousness even more effective. The book includes 40 prayers on various topics that you can adapt as needed and use as your own. Practical Prayer for Real Results is available in paperback, Kindle, and audiobook on Amazon or at b-the-light.com. That's b-the-light.com.
Welcome back to the Practical Prayer Podcast. I'm Carol. We're here with Reverend Bill Marchiony.
And we're talking about looking forward and being intentional about the new year. And both Carol and I dislike the term resolution, as though claiming something with a glass of champagne at a particular time is going to change anything.
Right.
Now, it might.
Exactly.
It's possible that it could, but there's not a magical formula there. And part of it is, if there's a change that you want to have in your life, go ahead and do it now. You needn't wait. And if there's something that's not working for you, then make friends with it. Because, and the term that you use, that a lot of people use all the time, is it no longer serves me. Okay, well, how did it serve me?
Exactly.
How did it serve me? And can I be grateful for the way that it served me and understand it, and then realize that I have moved past that? There were some toys that I played with when I was a kid and some clothes that I wore when I was a kid, and they no longer serve me because I play with different things and different clothes fit. So it's time to release them and move on to something different. And not necessarily to just look forward to throwing that stuff in the bin. Some of it was very helpful. Those toys, they were probably part of a learning process that brought some richness and depth into my life. So can I appreciate them? Not just the fun ones that I remember. Oh, I played with that when I was a kid. What did I get out of that? Somebody who grows up to be a doctor, and they notice just how comical the game Operation is, without acknowledging that was part of my formative years that got me perhaps interested in some of the stuff that I wound up doing. Never know. But be intentional and be observant and be aware of what's going on so that you can take that step forward and not just do a repeat.
Exactly. And I think that you used the term earlier that it's big and it's a lot. But think about it like this. You're your own friend. And spirit, if everybody else leaves you, everybody doesn't like you anymore, whatever, they leave you. You've only got spirit inside. You've got yourself. That's it. And knowing what makes you feel okay, even for big things. I'll tell you, I have big ideas. And they get bigger by the by the day sometimes. And I hold them and I said, okay, so what do I have now that will help me get there? And what is there that will hinder me from getting there? And, all of those questions, I'm the one that has to answer that.
Yeah.
What do I have in my closet that's jamming up the space that I need for something else?
Yep.
Or, it's all the questions. I always say every question demands an answer. It's never going to go away until you give it an answer. And if you're the most important person, and you are, because if everybody leaves you, there's nobody but you, and answer your question. And then sometimes you get an answer that you don't like. Well, sit and pout with it. That's okay too.
Yeah.
I'm big on being human. So pout with your answer, and then, well, what am I going to do about it? You make a choice. You keep it, or you say, listen, it's not getting me to where I want to go. All right, I'll try again. And it's okay. There's no rush. There's no, excuse the expression, and I mean no disrespect, but there's no Holy Ghost that's going to get you and say that, hey, you didn't do the right thing. That's not it. It's because when you feel good, you feel strong. And when you feel strong, you feel capable. And you take steps when you feel strong. That's where you want to get to, I think.
Yeah.
And you can.
Yeah. Identifying that which is not working for us anymore, and being able to be gentle with ourselves because we've been doing it, having it, using it, been involved with it for as long as we have. Suddenly come to the realization, this doesn't work for me. It's like, oh, okay. Can you be grateful for the realization that it's not working for you anymore? Can you be grateful for the learning that you got? Because now you know exactly how that doesn't work for you. You know? And before, you might have been a thought, well, I can't imagine wanting to do that. But it's that life is an experience. So if there's an experience that you're done with, then be done with it, and be done with it lovingly. You know?
It's yeah, it's stuff happens in life, and you could say another word for it that's more expressive, excrement, and you could say it
Yep.
happens. It's a part of it, and I think I shared this before. I was speaking to a gentleman that had been sober for 6 years, and
hmm
he took a drink and whatever, and he was just distraught, just totally distraught. I got to start all over. And I'm thinking, okay, so I know AA and I know the 12 steps, but I've never been there. So I'm not where he is. So
Right.
I said, how about this? How about this? I said, I can't interfere with you in that process because that's not right. But let me offer you another thought. Another thought is that this was a part of the journey. You don't have to start over, you just continue.
Right.
So when you read the book, yeah, okay, after 6 years you had an issue, but you didn't start over, you kept on going. It's a part of your whole life, not just a part of every day.
hmm
Now, that's the way I look at it. I've never been through that, I don't know. But I think if we have more confidence in not putting these life is what it is. It's never good 100%.
Yep.
So okay, this didn't work. I got a whole lot of didn't works, a whole lot of them. Some of them I could fix, some of them I didn't. But, it doesn't stop me from my big dreams or my big ideas now. They're just happenings.
Yep. And the length of time sober in an AA program or any sort of an addiction program is really important, because that's how many days, one day at a time, somebody's been able to work the program and take care of themselves. And the reason that somebody gets into one of those programs is because the alcohol, the drugs, or the excessive eating or whatever wasn't serving them. So
Mhm.
the idea is, let me do something different. Let me make a different choice. And it's a really easy metric, a really easy yardstick. One day at a time, how many days have I made it so far? And you don't have to start over. What you have to start over is counting. That's like pushing the button on the odometer in your car. Like, okay, it's back to 0. You get to start counting again. But this time, you still covered all those miles. You've
You
still
did.
been through that entire journey, and now that informs what happens next. So, we get to make different choices. I think I might have told you I started doing a daily meditative practice using Insight Timer years and years ago. And I did it every day, and then one day I missed a day. And I was like 200 and something days in, and I missed a day. And I legitimately missed the day. It wasn't like it didn't record anything, or I did a meditation, but it was something different. I just didn't do it. And I
Mm.
thought, well, I can just go into the log and make it up. And it's instantaneously said, no, you can't. You're going to lie about your meditative practice. What the hell does that say about you? So I started over and have kept it up. And that was 2,700 something days ago.
Mm.
And it continues counting. And I'm even more intentional now, because the total number of days and the number of consecutive days is different numbers. So can I
Yeah.
continue to be present in that and make that a priority in my life? And it has become a huge priority in my life. I can't imagine not having a meditative practice.
Hmm.
So,
And I think the key that you said there, it's important to you. It's hugely important to you. You can't imagine not
yep,
having it. Yeah.
yeah. And that's right where we started this conversation. What's important to you? And the number of times that I get to brag about the counter on my Insight Timer is very small compared to the amount of time that I spend doing meditations. So do it for the right reasons. How do you want to feel? What do you want the experience to be? Because if it's bragging rights to say, oh, well, I haven't had any of this in that amount of time, or I've visited the gym, every week for however long it is, so what? Where's it leading you in your life? How's it making you feel? How's it serving you? Let's take another break, and then when we continue, I've got an idea for a prayer that perhaps we can have successful intention setting for the new year. Are you ready to get results? Now, that's not a rhetorical question. Are you ready to get results? RUR2GR. That's actually the abbreviation for the steps in a practical prayer. Recognition, unification, realization, gratitude, and release, with a couple of extra steps in there in case some doubt creeps in along the way. RUR2GR. This class is about the prayer technique that's common to all of the spiritual practices and religions in the most effective prayers that they have. And by effective, I mean that the prayer works. It actually creates a change in the experience of the person doing the prayer. It gets a result. We're going to begin with theory, and then we're going to take it into practice. By the end of the class, you will have your very own practical prayer that will help create transformation in your life.
Welcome back to the Practical Prayer Podcast. I'm Carol, here with Reverend Dr. Bill Marchiony.
Having a wonderful conversation about looking forward and preparing for the new year or whatever is coming next in our lives. And great idea. Wonderful conversation. Thank you. And what it brings to mind for me is acknowledging with gratitude what is and what's been, and then examining it to help inform what we'd like to experience next. And that is something that lends itself very much to practical prayer. So this practical prayer is about acknowledging what has been and gratefully releasing what's not working and inviting in something new. And this is wonderful because there's an infinite creative power. There's one divine presence, one limitless love that is sharing itself as all of its creation. And that includes each of us. Everyone within the sound of my voice is an individualized expression of that divine love. And as such, all of the good that's available anywhere, that's available everywhere, is available to each of us. So let's settle into a feeling of gratitude. So we can set our intention not from wanting or desiring or reaching, but from a place of fulfillment and gratitude. Change that is underway now is bringing newness and goodness into our lives. There's nothing to feel but gratitude. And everything that has brought us to this point has positioned us so we're ready to take this next step. And we can be grateful for all of that as well. So, knowing that that infinite power abides within, I know that each of us is aware of the steps that have brought us here and has the opportunity now to acknowledge what is, to accept it with gratitude, to allow ourselves to be gently informed by the experiences that we've had up until now, and allow that infinite intelligence, that divine mind, to guide us as to what will serve us even better in the future. And we get to let go of our attachment to how it happens, what the details are going to be, and simply open up to the feeling of that successful experience. As the newness comes upon us, we get to invite that feeling of connection, of health and vitality, of prosperity and enoughness, that experience of creativity and love and harmony, in whatever flavor and aspect is, in our awareness and our mind. As we open ourselves to that next new experience, we are inviting that infinite creative power to create something new and wonderful next. And that power is always at work. It is always at work, and it's working now, and it's working in specific ways for each of us and for all of us. And those experiences of good, of uplift, of harmony, of love and connection are already coming into our experience. And again, I'm grateful for it. So deeply thankful for the good that's already happening, for the good that's already happened, for the awareness of the good that's already happened, for the awareness of what's not necessary anymore, and for the awareness of what we can do to participate in bringing that next experience into our lives. And so with gratitude for all of this good, I speak this word and release it into the creative law that creates everything. And I know it's creating this now. And I let it be. And so it is.
The Practical Prayer Podcast with Reverend Bill Marchiony and Carol Lawrence is a production of BeTheLight.com,
be-the-light.com.
where you can find more information about practical prayer for real results.
Our theme is by Music of Wisdom. You can learn about the spiritual community of New Thought Philadelphia with daily guided meditations,
Weekly celebrations of spirit
and Reverend Bill's classes in practical spirituality
at newthoughtphilly.org.
That was lovely. That was lovely. You have a fan, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yep. Cher P435 watches you on Insight Timer and is watching us on the YouTube now. So
Hi,
thank
Cher. How are you?
you. And,
Good to see you, Cher.
okay. So you have a relationship with Cher? You know who Cher is?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Wonderful. Well, thank you. And she went on to say, thanks to us. Having a good time and loving the questions and the conversation. So, Cher, it's wonderful to hear from you. And that was the episode, by the way. This is the post show. So, if you have a question or you just want to say how much you love the show, you can put that into the social media. And by the way, if anybody's watching the live stream or the recording of the live stream, you can always go to the website at BeTheLight.com and put questions or comments in. There's a little section for the Practical Prayer Podcast, and you can make those same suggestions over there. Big plans for the holiday?
Yes, lots of plans.
Is there a lot of work for you to do?
Not the kind of work that requires cooking. That would be work. Not that kind of work.
Okay.
The work that I love.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah, we've got a solstice celebration. Then usually, New Thought Philadelphia does our solstice celebration at night, like at sunset. And we time it around the solstice. And we were going to do it Saturday night, and then the schedule just lent itself. And the solstice is actually at 10:02 Eastern time on Sunday morning. So we finally just gave up the struggle and said, you know what, we're going to do our solstice celebration at 10:30, the same time we normally get together. We got some wonderful music, and we're going to be hybrid. So it's going to be quite the performance. And that's my big thing that's coming up. And
Exciting.
And the solstice is fun because it's everybody's holiday.
Yeah.
Because the solstice is going to happen whether we celebrate or not.
Yeah. 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 So what will that make the service longer? The solstice celebration? How
I
will
don't
it
think so.
change it?
We're changing the schedule and the format, because usually there's a bunch of music and a bunch of talking, and it's set pieces of talking. And this time, all the talking is pretty much going to be about stuff that relates to the solstice. Mm-hmm. Like, there's a reason that Christmas is 3 days after the solstice. And there is quite a coincidence that Hanukkah and and other holidays happen when it's really dark out. And we're just going to, take some insight from each of those. My friend Ruth Miller did a wonderful talk about the New Thought meaning of Advent, which I'd never thought about before. And then also how Advent is a lot more detailed than some people think. Like, Christmas
Yeah.
doesn't start until after Advent ends.
Yeah, well, I was a United Methodist pastor, and so I had it's the Christian calendar,
Yep.
and it's extraordinarily detailed. It's very interesting.
Yep. And today is the second night of Hanukkah. So all of that stuff is coming together again. So anyway, that's what has my attention. And then New Year's, which I just don't usually think of as being very interesting. There is an event that I'm going to invite everybody who's interested to attend. There's a new seasonal program that the affiliated New Thought Network is putting together, antn.org, and it's a seasonal finger labyrinth walk. So one of the Anton members is a minister who's also a trained and experienced labyrinth coordinator, lives in Hawaii, and will be leading an online finger labyrinth walk. And you can go to anton.org, sign up for it, it's free, and you print out your finger labyrinth, and there'll be a little program to go through. For me, it'll be 7 o'clock at night, Eastern time. It's much earlier in Hawaii. And that's a nice tradition to be starting, you know.
Well, in that regard, I have a little tradition that we're doing. It's called, that Neville Goddard's teaching is Nevilicious. And so I'm inviting people to have a bite. And so it kicks off a whole season of that which is nevolutionary.
Nevolutionary.
Oh yeah, it goes through the whole month. And so it's nothing but fun. It takes the edge off of New Year, and I gotta try, and I gotta, when you have a jazzy guy like Neville talking to you, it's easy. It makes what's difficult easy. So yeah. It's
Beautiful.
nevolutionary. He's nevilicious. He is,
Nevilicious, nevolutionary.
and we are neveling with Neville. So it's just all about starting the year off with fun.
God bless ye merry Nevilman. You can use that one if you want, or you don't have to. Thank you, Kara. This wonderful, good fun as always. Thank you to everybody who is watching us on New Thought Media Network. We will be back here. We'll be back here next Monday for another episode, and see you in podcast land.
Please help us say thank you to our organizational sponsors, including the Hefferland Foundation, Affiliated New Thought Network, International New Thought Alliance, Science of Mind Archives and Library Foundation, Center for Spiritual Living Denver, Center for Spiritual Living Midtown, New Thought Philadelphia, Planned Happiness Institute, Summit Center for Spiritual Living, One Heart Retreats, Center for Spiritual Living on the Lake, Unity Kitchener, Unity Spiritual Center Ottawa, Om Center for Spiritual Living, Satya Center, Begin Within Ministries, Center for Spiritual Living North Jersey, Unity of Savannah, and the Center for Spiritual Living Seattle, as well as all of our individual donors. Thank you for being part of the New Thought Media Network. Please like, share, and subscribe. New Thought Media Network, positively inspiring.